and welcome back to the Quiz On podcast with me, Alex Mitchell.
And me, Hollie Noble.
This week we are joined by a fantastic comedian, someone me and Hollie have gigged with for a very long time, and we are very good friends, and we're absolutely delighted they're here. Please welcome to the podcast, Emerson Young!
Woo!
Thanks, Emerson.
Hey up.
How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks.
You're good.
Really excited.
That's good. I'm glad to hear
Worried
it.
about what you were going to say.
Yeah, there was a pause that we were concerned something was going to, complaint was going to be made.
I didn't want to be too excited.
I think you're the perfect level of excited right now.
I feel like I'm vibrating.
That's, well, I mean...
I am too, but for
we've got
different
no rules. We've got no rules against that on the pod.
Okay.
No one's ever done that before, but it's absolutely fine.
Okay. When we have a guest on the pod, our first question is always, what would be the perfect drink for us to serve to you now?
Oh, God. Alcoholic? Non-alcoholic?
Whatever you
Whatever
want.
you
Oh,
want.
bloody hell. Oh.
We've previously varied from protein shakes to tea to spicy margaritas. That's what I call good night.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to be a good boy, so I guess it'd be non-alcoholic. I guess it'd be a Beavertown Laser Crush 0.5% IPA.
So it's a non-alcoholic IPA.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Beavertown, okay.
It's the only non-alcoholic IPA that doesn't taste of water that may or may not have once met a beer in its life.
Yeah, I find that non-alcoholic IPAs are all like that. They're all really short.
I've got I want to have a top 5, but so far there's only one that I feel like deserves to be on the list. I need to have some more.
That's so great. Yeah, I've only found shit non-alcoholic IPAs. I think they're all pretty bad.
I'm trying to think if there is any that I like. I think there is one that, oh my God, what's it called? No, it's gone.
Do you know what really heightens a non-alcoholic beer? A shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
really takes it to a new level.
Yeah.
I'll bear that in
Yeah,
mind.
suddenly they become delicious.
I mean, it's sober night out. Everyone's like, "Oh, Emerson, you're coping unusually well with the lack of alcohol." And they're like, "Yeah, baby."
It's a brew dog.
Well.
It's a brew dog.
Of course, it's a brew dog.
Oh,
Of course, you recommended the brew dog. It's the most lesbian drink.
Punk AF, like
Say that again.
Punk AF.
Punk AF.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
I've not had that one.
I want to point out at this point for the listener, I feel like a translator for Hollie for Emerson. Anytime Emerson says anything, Hollie looks at me and goes, like with a pure shock in her eyes.
Please tell
Pure
me
confusion.
what's happening.
I'm not sure. That's the weird vibe. We can all feel it.
I think the AF stands for alcohol free, but they've never specifically specified, so it could stand for
As fuck.
As fuck.
yeah,
Or apple
amazing farts. It could stand
yeah,
for
fuck. That's
anything.
the level of Emerson's comedy.
Yeah.
And what makes me feel bad about it? I chuckled. I'm not going to say anything chuckle when he said it.
I was going to say something that wasn't farts, but I forgot every other word
beginning with F.
Beginning with F,
Yeah,
apart
yeah.
from farts and fuck. And you'd already said fuck, so I was left with farts.
Yeah. We're all award-winning comedians. That's crazy, isn't it? that's mad. That's mad we've done that. Okay, second question on the pod comes from Hollie. And just before she asks it, I cannot wait for your answer already.
I'm so overwhelmed. But so what I was furiously doing then, and I looked like I was being really rude, was trying to find. So the question is about a Disney character, right? And how they identify sexually. Now, what I planned to ask you was Elsa.
Have you ever listened to the podcast before? Because so far you've been surprised by every question we put to you.
Definitely not.
I started off listening to it, and then halfway through the first section of the podcast, I was like, "No, actually, I want this to be a surprise."
Okay. Well, I'm glad you went with
And
that.
I'm glad I went with that because
I'm
oh
really
boy,
better.
I'm
yeah.
really glad that you said that and not. I listened to half of it and then thought it was shit.
Yeah, well-
and I was like, I'm not listening to any more of that.
I thought I was going to say it, and then you said so-and-so, so-and-so, and I turned it off because I didn't agree on it. So I was going to ask you about Elsa, right? That's what I've written down. But what I was trying to find was any Disney character trends.
Well, you can just straight up go with Thomas the Tank Engine, surely.
Is that Disney? That's what I
No,
was
but
trying
it could
to...
be any cartoon character.
Right,
That's
okay,
Disney.
I'm gonna... Yeah, how do you think Thomas the Tank Engine identifies sexually?
In my mind, Thomas the Tank Engine is like not an adult. In my mind, he's like a juvenile train,
good
and
point.
it's like the big boys like Gordon and Henry and Edward. They're all the. So I don't think we should be
It so much. I'm
talking
so
about.
sorry. The big boys, Gordon, Henry, and Edward, as they're known colloquially in the business, the big boys.
Yeah, the big boy. Yeah,
Big
right.
boys.
Okay, how do you think...
How do you think Big Boy Gordon? Oh, that's weird. That's my dad's name.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
No, that's not good.
That's what your mum says.
Let's go Edwards. How do you think Edwards? What colour's Edward?
Blue.
Edward's
Train.
blue.
Good,
Why
okay.
don't I know it was blue?
Pretender to the throne. Chasing living in Thomas's shadow.
Yeah.
Probably hates the bastard.
He's blue, and I think he's an open-minded kind of guy. I'd say he's probably like pan or yeah.
I think he's an
Excellent.
open-minded kind of guy.
Yeah,
Train.
as trains go, because obviously trains are very limited in like they stay on the fucking tracks. That's the thing about Thomas the Tank Engine. Always was my favourite programme about trains.
There are
Until
other programmes about trains?
well, my favourite like kids cartoon that I watched growing up about trains, because the trains stay on the fucking tracks. It's fairly realistic. Underground Ernie was similar, like fucking Chuggington, right?
Someone's finally fucking saying it. I'm glad this podcast is a vehicle for this narrative.
Fucking Chuggington. They're going riding the rails, choo choo, all that shit, and then they're jumping up in the air like, way! And it's like, if you did that in real life, people would die.
Have you been to London? Oh my God.
I knew this was going to be one of my favourite episodes ever. I knew as soon as we booked you and I found out, I was like, this is going to be great. I'm going to have a lovely time. Fucking Chuggington.
Oh, still
no
cute.
one's been that angry at Chuggington ever.
Me little brother loved it. I had to watch it all the time, and
He sounds
bloody
like a
hell.
fucking prick. Sorry, I've got an Emerson's level. He sounds like a knobhead. what an awful
Oh,
man.
actually, you won't like me saying this, but I was saying about Underground Ernie. They sing over, well, not all the stations, but all the ones that are represented in the show.
It would be crazy if they listed off every British train station.
Oh yeah, that'd be mental. Or even everyone on the Underground. But no, we go like with I can't remember the order, but at one point they sing Hammersmith and City 2, and my brother, with his reference point, which was Sheffield and the surrounding areas, thought the line was called Haversige and City.
Okay.
And I think that's dead cute, to be honest. Never told him that.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what Underground Ernie is. I'm assuming a train on the London Underground is pretty London-centric.
Yeah,
That's the issue with this biz. It's all too London-centric.
It's basically... did you have, like, proper telly growing up? Like, not just what you got through the aerial? Like, did you have, like, the Disney Channel?
No, of course not.
Alex
Okay.
grew up in Luton. He just watched
I watched
his neighbours telling
TV. It was called The Window. We were just hanging out, working out who to burgle. So it's...
Because
we did.
courage to watch it.
it was
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
on CBeebies, so
Sorry, you talk about moving pictures. What is this?
it was on CBeebies, so
Okay,
everyone
I have CBeebies.
exactly, yeah. But like everyone at my school who had like proper TV that their parents had
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
paid a fortune for and all that shit wasn't asked. So I was wondering if it was that kind of situation where you had someone better.
No.
Right.
I do know what you mean there, because those kids were bastards. And those kids that you went to school with. I mean, you would be like, their birthday party's going to be pretty fucking sick. You'd be like, this is going to...
Aye, if they invited you.
Well, okay, that's... yeah, I agree. But in your head, you'd be going, we're talking 2 rounds of bowling here, people. This is
Oh,
forget
yeah,
McDonald's.
baby.
We're going to the Pizza Hut buffet. That is, we're talking serious shit is going to go down. And then we'll all go back and stare through the windows and throw stones at people who have crossed the border into Luton. That's what we did. That's what we did as children.
Doing all that all while not watching Underground Ernie.
Yeah, we couldn't watch Underground Eddie. We were too busy throwing stones at people not from Luton while trying to avoid the local paedophile. He dressed as a cowboy. That's how we knew.
What?
So it was really identifiable.
Yeah, it was weird, man. Full boots.
I'm sorry, but has every city and town got a pedo cowboy? Because I swear to God, I know a pedo cowboy.
Do you know Pedo Cowboy? Wow. Okay.
Different pedo cowboy. He's from. I can't remember, to be honest.
That's weird that you don't remember where he's from. It's the kind of thing you don't forget.
Basically, he was talking to me and I wasn't really listening because in my head I was going, I think this man's a pedo, I think this man's a pedo, I think this man's a pedo, I think this man's a pedo. And then I found out, like, quite a long time later.
It was a pedo? Okay, cool.
Yeah, he had, like, the certification and everything.
The certification. I don't think they give them certificates anymore. I don't think that's... I'm pretty sure it's now frowned upon. Fucking hell. Pedo Cowboy. We had one in Luton. He dressed as him. He walked around all the time in full snakeskin boots, Stetson. So when you could hear him coming, because of the boots had the little like spurs on the back. So you could hear him coming.
Oh, my guy didn't have spurs. That's a shame.
I'm so stressed.
I'm having a lovely time. I love the awkwardness. I think it's great. Me and Emerson are currently in a battle to prove that one of us is the most awkward comic on the circuit.
What awkwardness?
Oh, he's winning.
Is any awkwardness?
Awkwardness.
This entire vibe. You know how when you walked in the room, all the energy was sucked out of it? Yeah, that's the awkwardness, mate.
I just think the fact that I came in, put all my stuff down, got this out, and you said, oh my God, he's got a spreadsheet. I just feel like you should have been more prepared for the eventuality of me bringing a spreadsheet.
Did you
And very soon.
out just for this? Or...
No, this is actually mine from when I was about 19.
Okay, we're gonna come on to it. Before we come on to it, let's go.
I don't want to make it sticky.
No, I knew that was gonna happen as well. I knew that was gonna happen. You awful human being.
Thank you.
Cut that immediately. No. Right. The section we've got is called Gay Rage. Right. We want something you are right now frustrated by. Although to be fair, we could have covered it already with Chuggington. But we want something that you are frustrated by, something that's winding you up right now, something that's driving. Well, could be something very, very small, could be something huge.
Yeah, people that walk four abreast on pavements that are just wide enough for either four people going four abreast or two sets of two people to pass each other.
Yeah,
and they just watch you, and you get closer and closer and closer, and you think they're gonna move, they never fucking move, and then you end up walking in the road to get round them, and they just
It's always when you're in London. It's always when you're at the Fringe in Edinburgh, where you're stuck behind a family with their 17 fucking kids, and they're
the Fringe is the worst.
They're just walking up a pavement, and suddenly they all stop for no fucking reason, and then you have to be the one who's like, "Sorry, can you move out the way?" And they're always like, "Oh God, people in this city," and you're like, "No, you're a fucking idiot. Move your stupid kids out of the way." Like, winds me up immensely. I'm fully with you.
Have you experienced something like that recently that's made you, or is it just a general?
It's just every time it happens, it gets cemented more and more as a specific thing that I really hate. But I mean, something that genuinely, I don't know if I want to. Yeah, go on, man. It's stand-up related. I'm not a fan of doing gigs where everyone's quite happy to have you go up and do your little autism jokes and talk about neurodiversity and make people laugh, and everyone comes up and like, "Oh wow, you're so brave, blah blah blah, my son's uncle's cousin's hamster's autistic," and blah blah blah. They're happy with all that. They want you to come and do your little jokes, but the gig is not accessible for neurodivergent comedians.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about one particular venue. I want to make it obvious it's not a particular incident. It's more like a stack of...
Yeah.
So there was one gig I went to at a very, 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 very big club. I won't say which. It was...
Live at the Apollo. No.
Yeah, sure. It was away from home, so I'd travelled and I wasn't familiar with the area, and I wasn't familiar with the venue was really, really, really loud, really crowded. You couldn't leave when the show was on, or they wouldn't let you back in.
That's mad. That is an insane rule.
What?
Yeah.
As one of the acts, that is mental.
Because it was an open mic level,
Oh, right, okay.
So
But that's still wrong. Like, as one of the
yeah.
acts, you should 100%.
I think as you get more experience and you start getting better gigs, I think it does get more accessible because they look after the acts past a certain point. But
that's 100% is the case.
I'm not sure how to get to the point where I'm getting gigs where I can actually be relaxed enough to do as well as I can with me set, because it's hard to get through all the shit. And it's not that I just sit there freaking out in my head and don't do anything about it. I went to a member of staff and I said, look, it's quite loud and quite stressful for me. Is there anywhere I can go that's quiet? And he looked around, took me to one side, and pointed at the toilet and said, you can go stand in there, that's a bit quieter.
What?
Fucking hell. Christ.
So you want me to go and hang out next to a man taking a shit because your venue doesn't understand the meaning of less is more in relation to decibels and flashing lights?
Wow.
I think, what's really frustrating about those kind of things as well is, you mentioned it before, is that the higher the gigs you do, the bigger the gigs you do, the better they look after the acts, right? But that ultimately means that the gigs you have to work 5-10 years to get to a point where you can do those gigs, they are easier than the ones you do when you started out.
It's weird, is that?
The gigs I get to do now, 10 times easier than any open mic night.
Yeah.
Because you're looked after, they give you the time and space and energy to be able to work your best work, your best prepare, do your best stuff on stage. They create that environment that just isn't created elsewhere. And now, what I do now a lot of times, I'll go back to nights I used to do when I was starting out to go and do new material and stuff now, because now I'm very much like, well, if the new material works there, it'll probably work anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you do new material in one of those lovely clubs, it could go down quite well, but won't go down well anywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
So it's that's just really frustrating. That's just the nature of the industry. But also the fact they're not, like you say, ultimately those gigs that you're talking about, you often have to apply to do. They've seen a video of you. They know what you do, or they've seen you before, so they know what you do. They know, you're right, they know you talk about your autism and autism in general, and yet they bring you along to make the jokes about it, but they're not going to actually facilitate what you need.
Yeah.
Or even fucking ask.
But it's like...
Sometimes just asking would be nice, because sometimes if they ask and you say, actually, no, it's all right, which sometimes I do a lot of the time now, is that's just so completely... we want you for your laughs, for your jokes, but we don't want you, the person.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
They want to have disabled acts on, but they don't necessarily want the inconvenience of the disabled acts being disabled.
100%.
Yeah.
I did an all disabled gig recently where the disabled toilet was on the second floor and you couldn't get up there unless you used stairs.
Fucking hell.
What?
Yeah, how mad's that? And only when we got there did we realise.
Insane.
And we're like, what the hell? I mean, lucky I can do stairs anyway and stuff, but there are other acts you can't. And it's like, why book it here?
Absolutely
Why book this
insane.
gig? Like, it's absolutely mental. And it happens more often than not. And I mean, like, ableism is still huge in the industry. It still is, like, it's a massive, massive issue that continues to exist and is genuinely concerning. In terms of even on, like, the jokey side of it.
I find other people get to have normal banter. The banter people try to have with me is all, like, about how I'm autistic, and they're obsessed with it, and it's like, just make a fucking joke about my hair or something. Bloody hell.
The banter I have with people is people telling me my disability is not real. Like, it genuinely tends to be like, it's not a bit of fun and we get on stage. A couple of sympathy laughs. It's like, fuck's sake.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
Wow.
Again, do you think this was a choice?
Someone whispered in my ear once at the back of a gig ages ago. I asked if your tics were real, and I said, of course they fucking are.
Yeah.
Why the hell?
Yeah, I get it. And I'm often asked a lot.
But, like, he didn't have the guts to fucking ask you.
No, yeah.
Because he thought there was a chance he might be wrong. And I was like, of course, what the hell?
I'm often asked about it in relation to the podcast, right? People listen to the podcast and then see me live, and they go, oh, your speech is completely different. And it's also the atmosphere, environment, so many external factors. In this, now I'm talking about it, it's obviously a bit, I'm fighting it a bit. But on stage, there's two things I do on stage, right? So one is that it's all about adrenaline and it's about nerves. And adrenaline naturally heightens every part of my disability. So my voice I really struggle with, right? But the bigger thing is I don't fight it on stage, right? And some people question why that is. So in conversation, I tend to fight it because just to keep natural flow of conversation, I'm more conscious about the other person waiting till I finish speaking, right? So I fight it a lot more. Whereas on stage, this is my time, baby.
Yeah.
No one's talking to me. You know, I can do what I want here. So I'm not going to fight it. And also, because if I was fighting it, that takes up so much energy. And then the other half of going, you're trying to work quick. I do a lot of ad libs and a lot of, I wouldn't get any of my improv stuff done because I'd have to switch off that part of my brain to get the other part of my brain working to be able to fight it, right? But I get a lot of the time people going, is it real? Or are some of them, or when you're on stage, are some of them fake? Because I can, I might tick during a punchline and I'll improv after it. People go, is it fake? The truth is it's not fake at all. They're never fake. The one tiny bit that I have done twice in my life is that I could feel a tick coming on. I'd done a really good improv bit on that same punchline 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I'm just going to rush through this till I get to the punchline, so I tick during the punchline. And that's the only time I've ever done it. I said, like, the 99.9% of the time, it's all real, but people just assume it's not. And people look at me all the time like, people ask me if I'm using it to try and get ahead in the industry, right? And there's two answers to that. The answer is obviously no, and then the second answer is, if you've got it, flaunt it. Yeah. Right? And it's like, it's like, if I'm going to fucking tick a box, there's a really good comedian called Will Robbins, who I think is brilliant. And he's got a great routine where he talks about how, when he's applying for jobs and they ask you if you're disabled, he's like, I don't want to be disabled. He is disabled. He's got a disability. He goes, I don't want to be labelled as that. So yeah, in a lot of jobs, if I'm going for a job, an office job, or something in HR, no, I'm not going to put I'm disabled. If I'm going for a job at the BBC, I'm fucking disabled. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, there's so many fucking negatives to being disabled, or, not in all being neurodiverse as well. That it's like, well, fucking use it. Like, it comes a point where, why not? Like, because we've been stigmatized for so fucking long, that it's fucking worth it, But it's still wrong to ask me that. It's still wrong to ask me if I'm using it to get ahead in the industry.
Who would?
For words.
No, because out of the two options, I think I would probably rather quit stand-up, but be able to live independently.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the bigger thing for me of the two. So yeah, no, I'm not using it to get ahead in the fucking industry.
Oh God, you've just given me an existential crisis there.
I'm sorry about that.
I think I'd carry on doing stand-up. I think I like it so much.
Rather than living... Yeah, to be fair, as I was saying it, I was like, it's a pretty good job. It is better than a lot of other shit. I don't want to go back to doing anything I used to do. So yeah, I fully get your point and why they're annoyed, because that is that's a piss take. That's really annoying. That shouldn't be a thing. You should every right to be angry about that. It's completely wrong. Now, I've just spoken for a little while, and we've all chatted about something that irritates us. Now we're on to a section called feeling pride, and this is where we want. Oh my God, the happiness. Right,
The happiness has begun.
This is a section where we talk about something that is bringing you joy in life right now, or making you feel proud of something. Now, I get the impression this isn't bringing joy in Emerson's life right now. It's brought joy to Emerson throughout his entire fucking life. Bearing in mind what he's brought in with him. Now, we just talked about, autism and some of the stigmas around it. If you're like that conversation about wanting to break down the stereotypes, tune off now for the next 10 minutes, I'd say. Because I believe we're talking about trains, and not just trains, a very fucking specific type of train. Emerson,
I present to you.
Oh my God.
So ready.
If you're not already aware of them, which, to be fair, if you're in the south and not in Devon and round Exeter and all that, you probably won't be aware.
Okay.
I present to you the Class 142 Pacer diesel multiple units.
Emerson has a number of pin badges on that he's currently showing us. That are, to be fair, they're quite nice. I do quite like them. They're quite fancy.
I collect them, but they're very expensive, so I can't afford more than 3.
Great, that's mugging.
They're very expensive, but only if you like trains.
Imagine being mugged and all they take is your train pin badges. You'd be like, something's gone wrong in my life.
It's really easy to find a burglar.
Something's gone seriously wrong in my life.
Really, really easy to find a burglar. Looking around in my there with a little notebook doing all that. And then they put the badges straight on my camera bag or whatever.
Okay, so why this specific type of tray? That's what I want to know. Oh, fuck.
I don't 100% know exactly why.
Okay, cool.
I didn't choose Pacers. Pacers chose me. And they've been.
Are they common? Is it a common train?
Not anymore.
Oh, the old ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were first built between 1985 and 1987 using Leyland National Bus parts.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So basically, British Railways was skint. They were looking for they have the Generation 1 diesel multiple units were reaching the end of their sort of serviceable life, and they were trying to find replacements. And what they came up with was 2 distinct sort of classes, like umbrella sort of classes of train. We have the sprinters, which are, I think the majority of them are still in service today. Some of them have been scrapped, but that's sort of par for the course with trains from the 80s, and the Pacers, which have now all been withdrawn. And the costs were kept down by using parts that were originally designed for Leyland buses. And now a lot of the news coverage and articles on them, especially as the Pacers were nearing the end of the line, no pun intended. The pun was fully intended. I felt it before it came out of my mouth, but I didn't stop it. The Pacers were chewing to their doom, except they weren't, because they don't go choo-choo, because they're fucking diesel. I hate that. Hey, look, that's a choo-choo. This is another pet peeve, right? It's like, hey, come on, little Johnny, come and look at the choo-choo train. It's not a choo-choo train. There haven't been choo-choo trains since the fucking 60s. Shut the hell up. You weren't even alive when choo-choo trains came to this station. Fucking hell, don't poison your son with that bullshit. Poor little Johnny.
I mean, so much more to go into here, and so little time.
Yeah, but basically,
So these pacers not around anymore.
no, they've all been scrapped.
So you go. Okay.
I'm very sad about it.
Okay. Cool. When were they? When was the last one scrapped?
Well, the last one was withdrawn from service. It was a Transport for Wales unit. Well, all the Transport for Wales units were withdrawn before the end of 2020, so it was December 2020.
Oh, okay, so it's pretty recent.
And the
so you're
northern,
still in the grieving process.
Oh yeah, very, very much so. The northern units were withdrawn a bit earlier, but only like October, November. So
I was gonna say right because I'm looking at the pin badges and I think that looks like a northern train.
Yes, yeah, it is. I
know what I'm talking about.
It's
I'm engaging with the guest.
That is an Arriva Trains Wales one.
Okay, you've lost me. I was on board for a little bit.
And that is Regional Railways, which is the livery that some of them had when they first came into service.
Okay, what horrible grey and white?
Yeah, and blue. Don't forget the blue.
Blue. Guys, say if you're gonna make a fancy train.
I mean,
you've got to go for a better colour than that.
It doesn't look. I liked the provincial blue, which was.
Gosh, sorry, I think I'm just offending the guests now.
It was this sort of colour,
like a blue?
sort of thank
like
you.
A pastel.
For the benefit of the people not watching,
for the benefit of the
video, I'm looking at a springy fidget toy that's sort of pale blue and trying to remember all the different words for blue.
I will say, just to get you out of the clear, we provide the fidget toys and we don't just provide them because Emerson's here.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point.
I'd love to say I didn't bring my own fidget toys.
Emerson has bought his own.
I've got me
for all the guests.
If I'd known, I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah.
I have 5 in front of me.
So you have a number of things in front of you, Emerson. I'd love to talk to you for ages about this. I am conscious of time.
Yeah.
So do you want to let's go through some of this. There was a spreadsheet which you previously said you've had since 2019. Did you say?
I'd just like to quickly say the thing about the bus.
Oh yes,
parts.
go. Yes, do.
I don't
Sorry.
think because a lot of the stuff in the news was talking about how they were made from bus parts, and then there did become a misconception amongst non-autistic members of the public that pacers were made from old buses. I'd like to clarify, they did not take buses apart and build them into trains. These were new parts manufactured specifically for the trains. They just kept costs down by using readily available designs and but I did overhear, and I think they got a very, very, very bad press towards the end of their life. And I'd say a lot of it was probably deserved because they weren't accessible. They were withdrawn. They were withdrawn because they were getting old and unreliable and not meeting the expectations of today's commuters. But they were also not really very accessible in the least for disabled people. So it is, it's ultimately it's a good thing that they're gone, and they've been replaced with the 195s, which are much, much, much more accessible and comfortable, and when it rains the windows don't leak, and so I understand, I know why they're gone, I know, but
this is brutal.
I think
how have I become genuinely emotional?
I know.
Do you like the 195? Well, the new one.
The first time I saw one, it was kind of exciting. I was like, oh, this is cool, it's a new thing, I'll go on it. And I went on it, and it was okay. But when the novelty wore off, now when I go on them, I'm just like, well, this killed the pacers.
This is the executioner.
Yeah.
This carried the axe.
This is it. Do you ever punch the seat while you're there? Just like, fuck you.
I'll never. Just whispering to the seat, I'll never love you.
Yeah.
There's awful. Going through these awful divorce proceedings with this train.
Well, no, that's the thing. I'm glad you've said about seats because
my God, here we go.
I don't know if either of you have been on a pacer or remember. Like,
I couldn't tell you.
do you remember? Actually,
So good.
Buses sort of pre 2012, shall we say? Although they were being, phased out at that point. To be honest, buses used to have like bench seats with like the rails at the top.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that. Oh my God, he's opened a book.
Got a reference.
Just for he's opened a book titled Diesel Multiple Units. It's the 2018 edition.
Yes. I'm just getting a reference list, and there are other classes of pacer, by the way. There's 142s, which I'm talking about, but there's also 143s and 144s.
Why is the 142 the best?
I don't know. It just
drew you in immediately.
Yeah.
When it flashed its lights, it was just love at first
Very
sight.
sexy train.
It chose Emerson. I forgot.
But like,
oh my
what
God.
I've got here is a list of all the
Emerson's showing me the most complicated book
You've
of all
written.
time.
What have you written? What's the?
S for scene, H for haulage, and that is a very, very, very old list because now they would all have S and H next to them because I've seen all of the ones that are in service.
So the S is for the ones you've seen.
So haulage is you've been on it. You've been.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
It works better if you're talking about a locomotive because that's hauled for carriages, but I still use it for multiple units.
And you've been on all of them, you said?
All of them except two, 142008 and 142. I want to say 5, so I'm just going to clarify.
Okay, I'm going to put it out there now. People will be listening to this. We have an audience. People will be on social media. We need you to send this podcast episode to the people at British Rail. We got to get Emerson on these final 2 trains.
Yeah.
That is,
Well,
if this podcast achieves anything, we're getting Emerson on those final 2 trains.
I'm going to tell you why you can't, because they were both scrapped before I was born.
Now, I wish you'd said that before I started this battle cry.
One of them went into the buffers at Lime Street. Like, it ran away from Edge Hill, like, the brakes failed.
It crashed into the buffers.
It was empty, and they evacuated the platform, and the driver and
This is how much he loves it. He's making it clear that it made a mistake, but he's going, but you can forgive it, it's fine. It's a train.
I'm just clarifying nobody died.
Nothing wrong.
I'm just clarifying nobody died. I've seen pictures, and it's like it looked absolutely terrifying. So obviously that one was written off, and then another one was written off in another crash in 1999. And so, I mean, I was born in 1999. I can't be reasonably expected to have gone on either of those things. So I think I'm gonna let myself up.
Because there were people listening to this going, pretenders of the fucking throne. He's not. He's
don't
not
like
been
it
on.
that much, do you?
Yeah, clearly, you don't like it that much.
I've only been on 94 out of the 96 Class 142s.
Disgusting.
94 was mad.
That's amazing.
That's mad. I'm like, can I ask? And this is a genuine question, and I think I know the answer to it. But when you're getting on these trains, are you getting on them to go somewhere, or are you getting on them to get on the train?
I was getting on them to get on the train.
Yeah, I thought so.
I travelled. The pandemic kind of fucked me up, to be honest. I'm a lot less confident now. I do a lot less. I don't really go anywhere out of my comfort zone. But before the pandemic, I used to travel and track these things down because, sure, Northern had the 142s and the 144s. They had all of the 144s. But Arriva Trains Wales had their own 142s, and there were also 143s in Wales and around Exeter and, Devon. So I was literally travelling up and down the country, trying to see and photograph and film and travel on every single one of these units. And I did it. But towards the end, it felt like a bit of a race against time. And at one point, I said to me dad, I need to go on all these before we get scrapped. I need to see them all and photograph them all. And he's like, oh, don't worry. If you find out where they're getting scrapped, very pragmatic guy, my dad. If you find out where they're getting scrapped, I'll take you there, and you can stand outside and watch them all go in.
That's awful.
I know.
Isn't that so? That's like your parents constantly rewinding the bit in Bambi where Bambi's mum dies. So that's what that is. Yeah. That's awful. Where do you think this trauma started? Oh my god, yeah. That's horrific. Well,
I don't know if he was joking or if he was genuinely trying to be helpful.
I think he thought he was doing a nice thing.
Yeah.
That's like my dad. Always he's so love him dearly. We're very opposite people, and he always says the complete wrong thing. I'm very whenever I come back from a gig, he'll be like, "How'd it go?" And I go, "Yeah, it was all right. This bit went well. This bit went well." And he'll go, "What didn't go well?" And he means it in a nice way, right? Yeah. But there was one it was quite early on. I did a competition, and I came back from the competition, and I think he thought I was going to do quite well. And I came back, and I didn't win it.
Was it BGT?
No, he was there at Britain's Got Talent, and that's another thing that pisses me off. He turned up at Britain's Got Talent in a shirt of a band. I think their band is called the Wild Hearts, and I know the band's called the Wild Hearts. I think this was the shirt he was wearing, and so the top comment on the YouTube video of my final performance of Britain's Got Talent, which has been viewed more than 100,000 times, is. His dad's got good taste in music. The biggest fucking nut of my life. And that's the top comment. Right? But we did this competition, and I came back from the competition, and he went, how'd it go there? He's quite excited. Yeah. I didn't win, didn't place, but I've got a lovely participation certificate. We have a laugh. And he went, oh, okay. Why didn't it work out? And I was like, fucking hell, Dad. He's clearly just he's trying to be really nice and supportive. He's here going, well, because if you can identify that, then you'll get better, right? Yeah, and that's his whole thing. But also, he just never gets the timing right.
Too soon, Dad.
That's all through my life as well. I do a spelling test at school. Come in, how would you get? I'd be 19 out of 20. He'd be like, cool. Which one did you get wrong? It's always that. That was my dad. It was always. Aww. Incredible man. Not a good man, but an interesting man. Right, we are going to wrap up the podcast, Emerson. I love that you've done some of this stuff. You've bought so many train
tickets. I would just like to clarify, you did ask me why I liked Pacers. I said I wasn't 100%. I can't entirely put my finger on exactly why. Okay. But I've got a pretty good idea, because growing up, I went on them every now and again, and then as a teenager when I started train spotting, they were always there. They were at my local station, Sheffield, and at the end of the day they didn't have enough space to put all the trains on sidings and that, so they just used to leave them in the station, and you could just go and look at them, and they were just there to hanging out. And so they were very accessible to me. They were very there'd always be a pacer within sort of 2 minutes walk if you were hanging out around Sheffield Station. And also to travel on, the windows were massive. The seats, as I said, were the bus seats, which means they've got a very low back, which means you get panoramic views across the Pennines and wherever else they're going. When they did set up Carlisle line, which I unfortunately never got to do on a pace, so that was from what I've heard from the lucky people who have got to do it. Beautiful. That's his biggest regret in life. Yeah, it's up there. It's up there.
He's fuming with everyone that got to do it.
Right, I'm back on.
It's just beautiful experience.
With the social media campaign.
So some of them, on my spreadsheet, you can see there's different colours there. That's what interior they've got. So those 5 there are the most original interiors.
He's showing us a spreadsheet of the trains.
then the red ones are the Transport for Wales ones, and then the yellow ones have got like high-backed seats. And the high-backed seats ruined the Pacers for me because, like, you can't see because there's a thing in front of you. And yeah. So yeah, it's for bench seat. It wouldn't be my favourite train if it weren't for bench seats. I'm putting it out there. No, I think it would still, but.
I regret
That was a joke, but it was a big part of it for me was because you don't feel penned in, you don't feel claustrophobic. You can socialise if you're in a group, which I usually wasn't, but nice thought. Oh, aye, yeah.
Is there any other trains that are still running that have those kinds of seats that you now have an interest in?
Well, there aren't any with those kind of seats. There were trains that I did try to replace them with a little bit. When I moved to Liverpool, I tried to get into the class 580s, and that was all very well until they bloody scrapped those as well.
Oh.
You're the kiss of death. You get invested in a train. I
like 1970s and 80s rolling stock. I really want to go back to Newcastle and go on the metro there, but I'm worried that if I do that, they'll all get scrapped as well.
Okay, another social media campaign. Let's get in touch with the Metro, the Newcastle Metro, to find out what their plans are.
Cannot get rid of them.
We have to wrap up. We end the podcast. It's been so lovely chatting to you. It really has. We always end the podcast now with a round we call Queer Fire Questions.
Queer Fire.
Okay, yeah. We're going to give you a number of topics. You need to tell us what you think the gayest thing is that fits into that topic.
Oh.
Okay, so what is the gayest car?
One of those little tykes ones. if there's if there's like a gay man in there with one leg out each window, having a lot of regrets, but still trying to relive his childhood.
That would be the gayest one. Yeah, fair play. Okay.
Shop.
Gayest shop, fucking hell. If you're a man or if you're a woman.
Either. So just whatever first comes to head.
Victoria's Secret is the gayest shop if you're a man, but the straightest shop if you're a woman.
Okay. Gayest film.
Oh God. I mean, the gayest film I've watched recently, personally, was Kinky Boots. But
yeah, it's a pretty gay film.
Yeah.
It's a pretty gay film.
Gayest film of all time. I'll have to come back to you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Person in this room.
Gayest person in this room. Fucking hell.
I love that your first look was to our producer who hasn't said a word during the whole podcast. Yeah. Who's the gayest person in this room? Well, I guess the one who sat there silently admiring all this.
How are we deciding this? Do we
fight?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we could have an arm wrestle, but then we'd both get less gay because the very action of arm wrestling.
Yeah, if it was me and you arm wrestling and you won, I'd therefore be more gay. But if it was me and Hollie and Hollie won, she'd be not an if. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. Can it be a draw?
Yes, it could be a draw.
Absolutely.
All of us equally. And finally, gayest UK train station.
Gayest UK train station.
Fantastic. Thanks very much. I'm a professional.
Dingle Road in Wales, because Dingle Road sounds like a nickname that
sounds like a slur.
Dingle Road, did you say?
Dingle, yeah. Dingle, basically, it sounds like a nickname that a sort of 40-odd-year-old twink might have for his partner's Willie.
Yeah.
For Willie's a dingle, and then I bet you can tell where Dingle Road is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. What's the gayest sounding station?
Do you think the pace is gay?
This would be so.
God. It looks like he's going to win.
Gay Pacers.
It would be so funny if Emerson was just straight away like, "How fucking dare you?"
He just proper had a go at me.
Oh, I would love
that's
a
the most
gay
offensive
pacer.
thing you could say in our culture. Okay, Emerson's thinking about gay pacers now.
I think pacers are gay because they didn't have any bogies. They just had axles, which meant when they went round the corners, they sort of screamed like. Really scream like,
and that's gay.
And they had a reputation for having a bit of a like rough ride and that. So all I'm saying is, if I was a train, I'd want to be railed by a pacer.
Okay,
like
that is.
Of all the other trains, I think that would be the most fun to.
I want to be railed by. I can't
That's
believe
a social media quote.
Right.
I just think.
I'd want to be railed by a pacer.
No fucking pendolinos, because you know the pendolinos, they like lean to pick up more speed, and if you were with one of them, it'd keep fucking rolling off the bed. I wouldn't be able to do all.
Promise wholeheartedly, if we do like a social media quiz on Advent calendar, day 24 will be Emerson saying, "I want to be railed by a pacer." Emerson Young, thank you to the legend that is Emerson Young. Thank you so much for coming into the podcast.
Thank you.
Absolute. I mean, I learned those, but also feel like I aged dramatically. Yes. What a hell of an experience. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
It's been an experience for me. I was not expecting to have to figure out whether or not I'd want to bum my favourite train over any other.
No one asked that! That was not a question we asked, and I want that put on record.
Okay, but when you asked if it was gay, the way that I went at it was...
And that sounds like a problem.
Would I have
sex with this train? Well... And we got the answer. So, Emerson, where can people find you online?
At Emerson Young Comedy.
Fantastic. Please go and follow Emerson. Follow me, Sophie, the pod. Sophie?
Who the fuck?
Who's Sophie?
Who is
Sophie? Is my brother's girlfriend.
And what's your brother's girlfriend's socials?
This felt... I'm so sorry. This felt like a conversation me and my brother's girlfriend would have with my brother. And I think that's where the confusion got lost. Is where he would say something mental. Like, we were having dinner the other day. There was one awkward silence. My brother just went, "What's the largest animal you could take down?" And then started talking to us about how he'd attack an emu.
Down?
Yeah.
What, like...
We're not going into it. We've run out of time.
an emu?
Please follow me.
Pounce.
I am Alex Mitchell. Please follow Hollie online. That would be great.
All Noble Comedy and Sophie.
And also...
Sophie Noble Comedy.
Follow my brother's girl. Don't do that. That's weird. Like, share, whatever I don't know anymore. Comment. That's it. Rate us. Rate us would be great. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back again soon. We'll see you next time on the Queers On podcast. Bye.
See ya.